Hi, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and this is another video in this series about using AI in the classroom and as a tool in the music classroom. So this one is going to look at feedback. Now, I think this could be developed a lot better, and there are probably better ways to do that than what I'm showing you today. But just as a way to show you what is maybe possible and what you could actually do with your kids. Now, again, this is a tool. There are limitations to what AI can do in the classroom, what it can't do, and you'll see that very quickly here. So I'm just going to share screen with you firstly about the command I put in to get a result. Now, you could obviously use a student's written example, but for the purposes of today, I've just generated one to give you, so hopefully we can actually extend on it. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I hope it all makes sense, but let's just go share screen, and here we go. So the command I actually put into this one was write an essay about the development of the orchestra, referencing how the elements of music are used by the orchestra. Then it gave me this. So it's not too bad. Doesn't really talk about what I would like it to talk about if I was actually getting kids to do this in the in my classroom. I probably wouldn't get them to actually use the development of the orchestra. My question would be more like, discuss how this piece written, and it's an orchestral piece, actually is the elements of music are used in that piece. That would be me. But you might have something different. You might be doing a music appreciation and music history class. I don't know. But let's just say that this is something you were given by a student, or again, you're using this as an example. So you can see it's not too bad. It's all right. Okay. There's some things that I would maybe be checking to see if there was actually any inaccuracies. You might also want to talk about, that has an introduction, three body paragraphs and one conclusion. It might be using a particular essay format or a particular paragraph structure format that you use at your school. Okay, that might be something you might want to do. All right, so I'm going to swap. I'm just going to stop screen for share for a minute. Well, I go back to the other screen because I want to make sure that you can see it, because I'm going to show you what I'm literally just going to do this in real time and see what happens, because we just don't know what's going to happen when we do these things. Okay, and that's the unpredictability of it all. So I'm going to share with you my Word document. All right, and you'll see why I'm copying and pasting all this in there, because this is what they reckon you should do. All right, so I'll just share my Word document with you. So literally all I did was, you can see that's the command I gave Jasper. All right, write an essay about blah, blah, blah. This is what it spat out at me. And then I'm going to copy and paste all of this plus this part here. Give feedback on how well this student has responded to the question. And I'm going to give the question, discuss the development of the orchestra with reference to how the elements of music are used. That's literally what I'm going to pop in, and let's see what it gives out. Okay, I don't know. It's completely random. It might not work at all, but we will share screen again. This one, share. All right, so I'm just going to copy and paste that information, all that in there. Okay, and you'll be able to see that come up in a minute. So let me put that in there, and let's see what happens. So it's giving us some information. It's giving us a little bit of detail, and I quite like it. Says, as an AI language model, I can say that the student has provided a comprehensive response to the question of discussing the development of the orchestra with reference to how the elements of music are used. So the student started with a brief history. So it's literally sort of saying, so you could use this and go, all right, so this is what you have actually done. So there would be advantages to getting your kids to actually make sure that they submit things in a Google Doc or Word doc, or however you want to share it. It really doesn't matter, so that you can copy and paste it in, because you want to see what it says, and furthermore, the student demonstrated a clear understanding of the elements of music and how they are used. Now, a demonstration I saw, they actually put in the marking rubric, okay, and it gave a bit more information. But again, as a teacher, I could see that this would be a useful bit of information. Also, as a student, you could say, okay, guys, write it, put in the question, and ask it for feedback. And here's the feedback. Okay, overall, the student has shown a good grasp of the topic and provided a clear, concise, and insightful response to the question. Again, it's a tool. It's a tool that your students could use. Did it work? Would it be something I would probably like as a bit of writing in my classroom? Yes, it's actually well written. That's not the problem, but it's not necessarily referencing the elements of music. But so you can see there's limitations to actually using the feedback, but it does have a starting point for both you and your students. And again, you can say to your kids, look, put your information into it, see what feedback you get, record the information, the feedback it gave you, and see what you can actually fix. Alrighty. And I said this was something that wasn't too badly written. But again, if your students are actually writing something themselves and then popping it in and getting an AI tool to actually fix it or see where the problems are, I think that could be a very useful thing for both you and your students. It would provide very timely feedback. It gives them quick information if they can understand what the information and the feedback is giving them. And again, I would personally be actually explaining this and showing this in the classroom and demonstrating it so that they can actually get an idea. And it would take a while. I think we're going to, as teachers, we need to take the time to actually show students how this can actually be used and how it is actually going to be a fantastic tool in the classroom for both them and us as teachers. Okay, it's a tool. Remember, it's a tool. It's not going to write it for them. It's a tool that can be used to help and hopefully improve. Until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and happy teaching. Bye.